Hello everyone. I'm planning to take a short on IREN before the market open, but before the pre-market open. But the market gaps down quite a lot. Then the thing is, I think we won't get the chance of shorting this one. So mainly focus on just managing my positions and selling some into strength. IWM below the 21 EMA. So it has found support twice. Therefore, I think today will be a good opportunity to cover some shorts. Um the previous pullback into the weekly 21 EMA is actually the 150 EMA on the daily chart. Now it's still we have some room to the 150. But still I will cover some into the weakness. And ARK gets pulled back to the declining 9 EMA on the weekly chart, 50 and 150 EMA on the daily chart found resistance and now gapping down. I think the market has higher odds of starting a downtrend than we're just hanging here and still chopping around. Volume is a bit low. I think it will be better now. Yesterday after the stream, I entered the SOXX short on this candle right here on the pullback into the anchor VWAP as well as the 150 EMA when the EMAs are close together and they're all trending down. 15-minute to like all the EMAs are just clustering. Just enter. This is a really tight risk entry after I got stopped out from the Nvidia short. I think this entry also coincides with the Qs. I think it's right here. Yes, this candle right here. Also the anchor VWAP pullback on the declining EMAs. PE is losing the anchor VWAP as well as the 9 and 21 EMA. Testing the previous swing low, 150 level. AAOI is building a really decent bull flag, high type flag, crazy strength. And wait for the first 15 minutes to form first. Learning from yesterday's mistakes. Not gonna rush in building the positions. Talent here in a really interesting spot. 50 EMA daily chart and then 9 EMA on the weekly chart. Previous swing low. 150 EMA starts trending down. Suspect it will be the first bounce in the downtrend. And it could be the turning point. Crypto is now turning down. Looks really ugly. Looks really weak. Yesterday and or actually it's Wednesday. The bounce looks like there's the boot trap. Now we get a bounce into the resistance level, but the mega cap looks very weak. And a lot of the semis names are at the 50 EMA, where they have found support several times. And can it do that again this time? So if we're shorting Palantir from the all-time highs to the previous swing low, we're getting, there's a 38% gain. But if we're using the short ETF, the inverse ETF, and we will be getting 51%. That's the advantage of using the inverse ETF. But definitely you still need to consider other factors such as the liquidity, the spread, and also the expense fee for the inverse ETF or the leverage ETF. RNQ. Wow, okay. I think there is. Yeah, I think there is. But the market is gapping down. Look, IWM is gapping down 2% today. I don't like shorting it when the market is gapping down by a lot. ONDS is breaking out. BE is bouncing up from the low of the PL strong. Dell is also bouncing in the lows. So there's still some solid actions from the individual stocks, but just a few. IONQ, I think it worth a shot. Yeah, but I just don't really like the market is gapping down. 1% for Qs, 2% for IWM. Circle is pulling back after touching the 150 EMA and the anchor viewer. Well, I think I missed I'm a little bit too late. If I spotted this earlier, then probably I would enter the 5-minute breakdown after the first 15 minutes. That is, the timing is perfect. Intel. Wanted to go sideways for a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Maybe the market is going to bounce back into the gap, into the 9 EMA. Would be a better timing for the short. Now it's gapping down. I think it's a little bit too late. Maybe we'll have some crazy, if the market is going to have a flush down, maybe this, yeah, that's a chance, but the better opportunities are the bounce into the 9 EMA. I think it's a little bit like for the technical or just pure charts wise is okay, but like for the general market, the market environment, the position, the structure of the current market now is gapping down quite a lot. I don't feel good for shorting a gap down. I believe even if you miss this one, even if this is a real flush to the downside, there must be a pullback, must be a bounce into the declining EMAs or the gap area. We like this 676. If the market is gapping down into the 150 EMAs, for example, the SPY, and the 9 EMA starts trending down, and we get a bounce into the 9 EMA with also the previous swing low level 677, 676, as well as this gap, unfilled gap level, that would be a really good entry level to focus on rather than shorting it now. Red Cat is breaking out. It has been breaking out. Crazy name. Crazy stock. You're just ignoring the indices and the general markets. It's in its own universe. Gold and silver start bouncing higher. I don't quite like it, but they're still under the 9 EMA at the moment. Just gonna let them do their thing. We're now starting to push higher. So that's what I want to talk about, because even the chart looks great, but sometimes you also need to integrate with the indices. And then the VDA is slowly setting up for a bear flag under the 50 EMA, starting to have some range contraction, and we'll probably see the expansion soon. The drone starting to move higher. Really impressive. Red Cat, Planet Lab, and ONDS. Rocket Lab is breaking out. Yeah, but I think that in this market we need to close to confirm, and entering now is too late. Apple, the strongest mega cap, is now pulling back into the 150 EMA and the previous swing low. And it's now starting the 9 EMA weekly, starting to trend down, and Amazon is finding resistance at the 50 EMA and the previous gap level. Meta has a fake out in at the 50 EMA, and now the weekly looks very ugly. AAOI is already breaking out from the small tiny range. What a beast. But definitely a bit extended to the upside and have a higher risk of reversing down leg day, especially on this candle high. The candle is with a high volume, gigantic volume on the 110 level. Wow, congratulations. Belcourt. I'm afraid that I don't pronounce your name right, but a huge congrats to you. Really happy to hear your story, and there'll still be a long way to go. Island Q is bouncing into the swing high angle VWAP. We need to. No way. I can stop down from my QBTS. Alright. Should have spotted it a bit earlier. And I can put my stop a little bit higher to let because there may be some rejections, some selling power at the end of VWAP. Wow, what a green candle on Planet Labs. Market outside US looks weaker than the US market on this pullback. I'm not staying awake till the market close every day. I only do that occasionally. And I agree, it's very exhausting for staying up till 5 a.m. And I don't think that is sustainable for a long period of time. At least for me. Maybe some people are can be more energetic. Even they are staying up till very nights, and they won't be that exhausted if they're sleeping during the day. I'm using the essential plan in TradingView. So I'm not seeing much over here for today, and I wish there will be more opportunities coming in the next week. And I think that the close of the market is quite important for the day, and you can't really guess, you can't really predict how the market is going to do. And then I didn't plan to do much for the day, so I think it's okay to close the day here. So thanks all for joining. See you in the next one.